Hi there, my friends from YouTube. Antonio here with another video for you. And I want to talk to you today about something nice that I faced last Saturday when I was playing around with this app. But before we move on, I just wanted to give you some sort of background. This is a app that I've been working on, and every now and then when I have some time, I just come in here and do something. And this time around, I was about to introduce a new feature, which is I wanted to allow users or to request users for push notifications permission only when only after they have completed a given flow in my app, but I don't want it to ask it every time. So basically what I wanted to have is some sort of time span where I could say, hey, after this time has elapsed or has passed, we can request users for such permission again, because we don't want to be bothering them that much. So I also know that we have a lot of libraries out there that does exactly what I said, but I said, okay, I don't want to bring another pod into the game, and I can code something using NES user defaults. And this is what I've done. So, but the point is, I kind of recall that I had a function that was doing basically the same thing that I just described it. I could give it a key, or I could give it, I could set a time span or time interval, and that function would tell me, hey, this time has passed, or this time is still valid. And the function that I'm talking about is this one can fetch data for given filter. And what I'm doing with this function is this, only allowing users to perform pull to refresh or try to fetch new data if half an hour has passed. Otherwise, they will be seeing the same information over and over. So that's what I had. And I said, wow, that's kind of basically the same thing. I just need to copy it over. No, that's not nice. Copying is not nice. So what I thought is maybe I can just extract this logic into another place and slowly see how it will it will evolve into something reusable. And this is I think the key takeaway from this is once you have tests or unit tests in place, you can do all sorts of things with way more confidence, and this is what we're about to see right now. So the first thing that I've done, I've kind of managed to move everything inside this function into something more reusable, which we'll see right now with this function over here. So basically what this foo function does, it gets a key and a duration, a time interval, and with that we kind of go into our user defaults and say, hey, given this key, give me the associated time interval that it's stored within the user defaults. And from there, we just validate, okay, do we have this time? And is this time still valid? If it is, then yes, we will basically say, okay, save the new time and store this key. If we don't have, or if this thing is not, if these checks, they are not matched, means that we have a time, it's valid, and whatever action that you want to take should not take place yet. And with that in place, we can, basically say, well, we don't need you anymore, and we can just use the foo function, right? Okay, and we also have the half-hour duration. If we run our unit tests with command U to run all the unit tests, now we will validate that whatever we had before is still working as expected. I hope yeah, it's coming. There we go. Running. Be patient. And all of our unit tests are passing. So that's really great. And now if we go all the way down here, this is the place where I wanted to use the exact same structure, but in a slightly different way, because I needed to have a different key plus a different time a duration or timestamp for that given key. And basically I've done the same, and here I'm just using the same function, and let's see it. So what I'm doing here, we're just getting rid of this function and replacing it with a new one. And again, we have a key, we have also a time, right? And we're just delegating all that work. We're shifting that work into the other function. Once more, if we run this, we'll see that all the tests are passing, and we're still happy, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Build succeeded. And let me see. Okay. We are good to go. Well, given that we're here, let's just do something. Let's just exclude debug. From now on, at least those tests, they will run a little bit faster. Because we were not doing debugging. But okay, so well, I think we can do a little bit better. Yeah, so we're taking a key, we're taking this, and you see we're talking to our user defaults and say, hey, please save this time for that key and such. Okay, that's good. Let's dive into my wrapper for user defaults, where I have defined this function, which is, as you can see, basically the same thing. We have time-based key. I got a key is valid. So I'm just asking, is this key still valid, or the time stored in this key is still valid? And here we will just bring this other function, which is, as you can see, a copy and pasta from what we had in the presenter. And by the way, in this project, I'm using Viper, so probably if you're coming from Viper, you will recognize some of the things that I'm showing in here. And as you can see, we have the same thing, time interval, which is being loaded using that given key, and we're just validating if that key is still valid. Okay, so now comes the nice, the greatest thing about everything we have done this far, because I can just come in here and say user defaults and time-based key, and we got our key, and we have half an hour interval. As good citizens, we can also run our unit test right now. But yeah, I also need to fix it over here, which is user defaults dot time key. Yeah, is valid, and we have this. Cool. And let's see now. So what we have done, we just moved that function into different places. We kind of shifted it from one place into another. We kind of twisted it or tweaked it a little bit, and we are reusing our code, because now it's not even inside my presenter. In here, it used to be all the way in here, like this, and not anymore. So we're just passing a given time or duration, a key for that function, which is very common to two places that I've used it. And from now on, I can just talk to my user defaults storage, give that given key, given a key, and check if that time has passed or not. So this is basically it. I hope you have learned something, or that you have enjoyed seeing this. And till the next one, thanks for watching. Bye bye.